Good morning, school. Good morning, everybody in school, and good morning, everybody in home today on for Friday's assembly. Slightly different feel to Friday's assembly this week. We are not doing a celebration assembly. Instead, we're going to do our celebration assemblies on Mondays from now on. That's because so many of you have been working hard on your home learning this week, and on Friday lots of your teachers have a chance to read all of your home learning, have a look at it, so that's the best time for them to choose our students of the week and our values cup winners. So they're going to do that today and let me know so that on Monday we can do our celebration assembly then. So instead I wanted to talk to you about a bit of a nature takeover that's been happening in Brixington. Over the last few days I have noticed some new wildlife in our school that I have never seen before. I wonder if that's got something to do with the fact that it's been a little bit quieter over the last few weeks on our school grounds and there haven't been as many people around. So I'm going to give you a few clues to what I've spotted, and I'd like you to see if you can guess the animal or plant or creature that I've spotted around the school. Okay, let's start with the first one. Can you name this bird? There's a tiny clue in the picture down in the bottom right hand corner there. I've got a red hat, I have black and white wings, and I can be rather noisy. This bird has been spotted in the tree outside of my office window, but it's also been spotted a couple of times this week by children and adults flying across our field from the top site to the bottom site. Can you guess what it is? It's a woodpecker, and quite an unusual woodpecker. Usually you see the large green woodpeckers around England, but this is the smaller variety of woodpecker, the black and white one. You don't see so many of those around, so that's quite a rare spot. I was really pleased when I saw that one. Let's have a go at another one. Well done if you got the woodpecker correct. Can you name this mammal that's been spotted on our lower playground and apparently has been nursing some young mammals underneath the after-school club area? It lives in burrows underground. Sometimes it's famous for being chased by lots of people on horseback. And its tail is called a brush. You can see a little bit of its colouring just down here. Can you guess what it is? When I arrived bright and early for breakfast club on Wednesday this week, one of them was stood on our lower playground, and it stood still and stared me right between the eyes until I'd walked very, very close to it. It is, of course, a fox. There she is. Well done if you guessed that one. Let's try another one. This one's a bit trickier. Can you name this monster? It was spotted in our pond this week, and if I tell you that its scale is it's about the same length as my thumb. It's not particularly big, so it's not a very scary monster, but it does move quite fast, and there are lots of them in and around our pond, and there have been for a few weeks now actually. Quite a tricky one though. I'll give you the answer. This is the larvae, which means the young, the infant stage of a much more famous animal, the dragonfly. These are dragonfly larvae, and you often see them around our pond. You can catch them in your nets, scoop them up in your nets, and they have been recently, and they grow up into dragonflies. Okay, let's try some other birds. These birds famously flock in large groups, and for the first time in a little while I've seen a large flock of them on our field. They're small and brown, but they've got black and white speckly bits as well. And sadly, when I came out of school the other morning and walked from the top site to the lower site, there was a very large group of them all sitting on our little wooden ramp that goes between the fields. Which means, well, as you can imagine, they've made a little bit of a mess on there. Can you guess what they are? Starlings. And you often see starlings in a huge murmuration like this picture here. We haven't had quite that many on our field. We've had a group of at least 20 or 30, I would say. Okay, I've got a really tricky one for you now to finish off. This is a genuine question. What is this plant? And I would love it if somebody actually knows the answer to this one, because I do not. What's interesting about this plant, first of all, is that on Friday last week, 7 days ago, it was not on our field. It's now about 15 centimetres tall. So in 7 days, it's grown 15 centimetres. What's a little bit more worrying is that there are lots of them that have suddenly sprung up in the corner of our field. And they're all growing very quickly indeed. We have no idea what they are, but our slight worry is that if they keep growing at the rate they do, our field will soon be a forest. So it seems that we are going to have to get rid of these plants so they don't claim too much of our lovely field that we enjoy playing on. But we'd like to do so in an appropriate way, so if any of you know what this plant is and the best way of managing it, then please do let me know. Perhaps some of your parents work in the gardening industry or might have particularly green fingers, so let us know if you do know what this plant is before it takes over the whole site. Okay, we've got the last one for you now. The scariest creatures of all that have been spotted in our school this week. Often wearing blue. They love to learn new things. And you find them at school, but you also find them in the home as well if you look carefully. Can anyone guess what they are? Okay, brace yourself. I'm going to show you the photo of them. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, there they are. I'm sure you all guessed that one. There's been so much learning going on in our classrooms this week. Lots of happy children working really hard and having lots of fun too. And I know that's been the same in all of your houses for those of you learning at home too. So thank you for all of your hard work this week as well. Next week we're looking forward to welcoming back a few more Year 1 children and reception children into our school. And we're working hard to invite some Year 6 children back soon as well. I hope everybody has a really fantastic weekend this weekend. And we look forward to seeing some of you next week in school. We might see some of you via video call as well, and we'll be seeing some of your work posted up to the class email and also to our social media pages next week. See you all soon. Bye bye now.